Blue-collar philosophers coming at you from the blood-red skies of Fort St. John up here in British Columbia.
Oh, I'm on fire! Everything's burning.
Panic.
Panic.
Everybody panic. It makes everything so much better.
It does. Now I feel like I have to turn myself after the intro music being as loud as it was. I'm like, fuck, I'm really quiet.
What's up, y'all? This is the Blue Collar Philosophers podcast. I'm Kickstand. That is Biker Mike from Mars.
What is going on?
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a week.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week.
That actually does remind me I have to make sure I put my phone on silence. I have been rocking the phone not on silence for like the last week because I don't want to miss anything. I wanted to make sure that I'd hear it, that there's no excuse. That even
hear what? Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking to you. Okay, so in this last week, we have had a little bit of a situation where they were like, hey, do you know it would be really great if the whole city burnt down? Possibly. Or just a hyper cautious thing of Fort St. John is now on evacuation alert. Be alert!
For those of you that aren't in the know or don't live here, there are two rather large wildfires in our vicinity. And they have kind of been away, but this Monday they took a turn.
Yeah.
And decided to start heading straight for us. And that put our whole city of, what, minimum 20,000 people.
Yes,
that's how many people are quote-unquote registered that live here.
Population. We have a shadow population, a bunch of free or people that come here just to work.
Yeah. So it's technically it's more than that.
Yeah, we just don't get the tax dollars from it, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, but they put our city on evacuation alert. So that is the step before they give an evacuation order, in which case you're ordered to flee,
you are
flee your region.
Told to leave everything. And
so yeah, that's what's going on here right now.
Okay, you've lived here your whole life.
Yes.
How many times in your entire life has Fort St. John been put on evacuation alert?
None.
Because I can't recall any time that it's been since I moved here, and that was 2006.
And we've technically had fires closer than this.
Oh yeah,
like
I don't know about that. It was Charlie Lake. It was right nearby, like Red Creek.
Yeah. So what was that? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, right at the beginning of the riding season. The same
2016.
The same year that Fort Mac went up.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah. So the same year that Fort Mac went up, we had a whole bunch of fires close to, like in the area, and actually one of them went right through Baldonald, like Chambers Farms was like evacuated.
Oh, really?
And the fire was like right at their doorstep.
See, I was like northwest.
That's because there was fires. It's because there was more than one fire.
Yeah, that's right. That's what end of town I was looking on, and that's where often the wind feels like it's coming from. So I'm constantly looking west. Look west. That's where we're most likely going to get wind. And we had a bunch of them. Hudson Hope, like between Hudson Hope and Fort St. John.
Yeah, last year, right at the end of riding season, there was a pretty big wildfire in the Hudson's Hope region. I remember, like the last group ride of the season that we took, when we went between the Bear Flats and Hudson's Hope itself. It was like riding through a campfire because like the smoke was so bloody intense.
I forgot about how awesome that was.
Yeah, it was neat, and it was like
because it got shut down. It got evacuated and shut down that day.
Like pretty much an hour after we left Hudson's Hope, it was shut down.
Yeah, that was a fun ride. That's I get to hang out with what the hell is his name? Ben and Dustin,
Morgan,
and MJ, and those guys, and it was that was a great ride.
I know we need to do more of that this year. Unfortunately, all of our friends that. They're all turning into responsible adults, and trying to start families and buy houses and stupid shit like that, and it really cuts into brother riding time.
Yeah, it's like it's really selfish of them, really.
Right?
If we're gonna be honest,
why aren't they thinking of us?
Yes,
that's really what I want to know.
I have my
Dusty,
house.
Then why aren't you thinking of us? Why are you having kids and saving for homes
now?
Especially when it's just going to burn down anyway.
You have a house. I have a house. You have kids. I have kids. Like we've already put that effort in. you had your chance.
We had that good like Bible schooling, like second you get out of the house, you better get yourself married and have a bunch of kids.
You better knock up some girl and marry her, and then say 7 months later have a baby.
Yeah. Which at the time you're like, wow, like this, I feel like we're missing a lot of life. But realize that, once they're through school, we're still going to have a pretty solid chunk of time where we're fit, we're fit and ready to rock and have no responsibilities.
So I had a lot of friends in high school because I was a very popular person. No, I was a very accepted person, not a popular person, but an accepted person. I was like a loser, but everyone was cool with me.
Yeah,
and
you're like one of the sucker fish underneath a great white shark.
Yeah. The really popular kids were cool with me. And I knew people that had kids in high school, like they were pregnant in high school and they had kids. And we were one of them hit me up, or I hit one of them up, just like random chat, and like, oh, hey, man, long time no see, or hey, lady, long time no see, how's life, kind of thing. It's like, oh, really excited to see what's going on. And then I was like, yeah, I got to do some pretty cool stuff with my life, like cage fighting, traveling, riding motorcycles, just fucking being awesome. And then I'm like, hey, what have you been up to? And she's like, I'm a mom. Remember? I'm like, oh yeah, that was, you skipped.
But the chances is that they're going to be able to move on from that a lot earlier in life than you will.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure her kids are about to be graduated, and she's like, yeah, she's my age. Mm-hmm. Her kids are graduated, so, I'm in deterioration.
So she's like 2 to 3 years away from second freedom.
Yeah.
Can you imagine,
no,
in your solid 40s, just being like, oh, I can do whatever the fuck I want to
in
now?
your 40s? I'm terrified of my 40s, because that's when hell is going to be unleashed on me with teenage girls. Oh, teenage girls are terrifying.
Oh, damn it. That burns.
What did you do?
Oh.
All I see is it's like a brain freeze.
Oh, pain.
But with whiskey. And it's not, we don't freeze our whiskey here.
So the stupid whiskey stone decided to tumble over each other as I was lifting the glass up to my lips, and it splashed the whiskey straight into my eyeball. That burns.
That's awesome.
That is fuck whiskey stones.
Fuck whiskey stones. Especially the thing is, they're decorative dice.
I don't even know.
Dominant. One's a dice. One's a domino.
I don't even know how to try to tackle this anymore.
I don't know how we got into being awesome.
I don't know. I forget everything before the whiskey stone attacked me.
Second freedom, riding through fire, everything being really cool. Oh, hanging out with friends, and then becoming adults. There we go. My brain went back.
We figured it out. Yeah, we came back to them being selfish and trying to be responsible adults while we're,
trying to
while we're trying to break free of responsibility. They're enslaving themselves.
That's right. They're putting on the chains that we've learned to live with. Not calling my wife a ball and chain.
No, your children are.
My children are.
You can do cool shit with your wife.
That's right. Children just keep ruining everything. I can't wait for my kids to listen to this. It's going to be so funny.
He'll be like, man, he has a really low opinion of children.
That's me. But yeah.
It's me. You're going to use mistake.
All right. So I don't want to just sit here and talk about the fires and all that shit right away, because we'll get there. But that's been our week, is being on alert, and it really kind of sucked.
I don't know. I feel like you took it more seriouser than I did.
Mostly because I was getting excited.
Yeah.
Were you excited the same way I was, or no, don't get your hopes up?
No, I just knew it wasn't a thing.
You were just, nope.
Yeah, I was just like, this is a serious inconvenience.
Just an overkill.
Yeah, this is overkill. This is just it was just all annoying.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt all week. It was just annoyed.
Yeah, I had a buddy text me today, and he's like, so, are they keeping you safe, or has Fort St. John burnt down or are they keeping you safe? And I'm like, they haven't done shit. I did everything. I prepared. Thus, it's not going to happen because Murphy's Law only comes for the unprepared. And I'm like, no, I'm ready. So everything's going to be fine, even though I kind of want my house burned down.
In what way were you prepared for a fire?
I didn't care.
Okay, yeah.
I got my fuel filled up. I got in line with everybody else, all the dummies like me who realize it's amazing how much you realize you're not ready.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if we have to leave, we could just leave. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to make it to Taylor. I'm like, we're really low on fuel. I'm like, okay, we need to be able to make it further than that. And so I got fuel. Got a go bag. Got the recording unit. I didn't want to care about the microphones because I want new mics. I'm like, oh, yeah, they were just, plain old Shure SMs or I don't know, any half-decent microphone that's better than these ones. And I just took tons of pictures. That's how I was ready. And everything in this house, fuck it all. You realize how much you don't care about.
Yeah, you definitely took it way more seriously than I did.
I was ready to walk away from all of it. I'm like, yeah, it is. It is what it is.
The fact that in your mind it was a possibility that it was all going to go away means you took it way more seriously than I did.
Yeah, but I didn't care. Some people, okay, I know people that were like,
No. Fuck that I didn't care thing. You literally walked around your house taking pictures of stuff.
Yeah, to replace it so we have
right?
insurance purposes. Okay, yeah, maybe I did take it seriously, but it was in hopes that I could replace it with everything better.
Yeah.
It wasn't like some people of, I don't know what to pack and what not to pack because everything means something to me. Nothing meant anything to me. I was just like, nope, none of it matters.
The worst case scenario at all points was that we would be evacuated due to smoke, air quality. That's it. There was no scenario where any building in Fort St. John was catching fire.
Okay, well, I'll give you that, yes. But I would still pack some things that looters or people that know the town has been evacuated would come grab, like cops, like they did when was a High River or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, look, a little bit of a flood. Let us go break into your house and take your firearms. Yeah, no, that kind of thing. I'm like, there are things in my house that I'm like, okay, I don't care about the house burning down. I don't want these things to be stolen. So there were things I did care about, but it wasn't like, property. It was things that I couldn't replace and that would come back against me later. So I was like, no, fuck the police, fuck looters. Those things I'll take. But everything else I was fine with. It was insurance.
Yeah. No, I agree. Fuck police and looters. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I was just like, if we that's the only thing I actually cared about when it came to.
But you shouldn't say that. It's not very Christian. Police are great and wonderful, and we love them all so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. Sorry. There's been
we have had
some response to our ACAB.
Yeah, where I do my best to defend the police when I can. When cops are taking firearms from law-abiding citizens because they were told to evacuate. It's like, well, you didn't evacuate everything, obviously. Look, we found all your stuff. We had to break into your house to get it. But, we found it.
Cops be cops.
Cops be cops. And don't think they won't do it because they did. We've seen it multiple times. The Fort Mac fires. I'm pretty sure that happened in Hudson Hope when they did it there. Cops will go into your place and take your firearms and say, oh, it's for safety reasons. Well, leave them alone. Like, just leave my house alone. You have no need to take my firearms. It's garbage.
Yep. As soon as you give emergency powers to cops, all bets are off.
Yeah.
All nice guy status and all that shit's gone.
Yeah. No. I don't trust them. Don't. Why? Why should I? They've given no reason.
Because you're a good Christian and you should obey authorities and love them and kiss their ass.
I've never said I'm a good Christian. In fact, I think I made a statement of saying I'm
No. But you're supposed to be a good Christian. You're supposed to be.
Just do as your authorities tell you to do all the time.
That's right. Do what your authorities say all the time. Mwah, 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 mwah.
You just pray to our prime minister and he'll answer all your prayers. I mean...
Sorry, I'm being extra shitty tonight.
Oh, so I guess we are diving into it. I wasn't going to, but the pre-ramble is the ramble, so it's kind of what we're doing on this one. So you thought none of this is going to happen at all.
Pretty much.
Did you pack a go bag?
Nope.
Didn't even pack a go bag. Couple pairs of underwear, couple pairs of socks, fuel up the vehicle.
Yeah, I made sure we had fuel.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's it.
It's like... all of our paraphernalia as far as like passports and all that stuff, like that's all kind of in a thing that's like ready to take up and go. We've had that, it's
like a go bag, but not a go bag.
No. It's like it's a binder with all of our shit in it.
Okay.
So when we travel, we have all of our shit together, and we're not like, oh, the pocket over there, that suitcase there. Like it's like we're going across the border. Like here's everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Like so, we already had that for travel purposes. Like, well, grab that and a duffel bag full of underpants and bounce because nothing's happening to our house.
Yeah.
Or anybody else's house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one to have. Passports are kind of like, if hypothetically something did happen, it's so much work to do. You need to be able to prove yourself somehow. You lost your wallet recently.
Yeah, I lost my wallet recently.
And what a pain in the dick that was to get it replaced.
You're right. It was a super big pain in the dick. Because, without, I luckily had that thing full of passports and birth certificates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just trying to go and get your bank cards and your driver's license and stuff like that without the other things that are normally in your wallet. They're like,
do you have your driver's license to prove? No, I lost my wallet. Okay, do you have a credit card? No, I've lost my wallet. It's like, okay, what about any other card? No,
I lost my wallet.
Am I talking to her? No, a government bureaucrat.
But
obviously,
that's exactly what it was like. They're like, yes, like we know, like, yeah, I went there. I answered all the security questions. I correctly typed in my PIN number.
Yeah.
I told them who I was. I had the number of the account. I could tell them. And they're like, that's all fantastic. We're 100% sure you are who you say you are, but we can't help you. It's retarded.
It's just everything. And
they're like, if you go to the government building and get your interim driver's license, then we can help you. I'm like, that doesn't have my picture on it or anything like that. It doesn't matter. It's government issue and that will do. Like, my birth certificate doesn't count? No, because that's not on our file.
That's not government issue. No, it is government.
It is government issue, but not on their file.
Oh, just not government enough.
So then I went to go replace my driver's license with the interim one that they give you, and got to the end of the process. She's like, okay, all right, that'll be $19. And I'm like,
you can't get the money out of the account because they won't let you get a driver's license.
I had no access to my bank account. Luckily, I had a $20 bill in my truck. I went back and grabbed.
Just got a 20 sitting around like some kind of rich motherfucker.
It's like I knew, like, I was like, if I don't get around to doing this today, like, I knew I was going to have to go buy lunch, so I grabbed a 20 from home, put it in the truck. That was my lunch money.
Awesome.
But I was like, if I didn't have that, I'd have been fucked both ways.
Mm-hmm. And you would have been sitting there, it's like, I can't do this. Just yelling at them because you're trying. You were doing your best. But yeah, losing your wallet's that much of a pain. Yeah.
Yeah, then losing all of your...
Well, that's why I was willing
stuff
to get my insurance papers and make sure I had that in order, because it's like, oh, sorry, who are you? And I'm like, okay, I got my wallet. But they're like, oh, what's your account number? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I pay you every single month. That's your problem to worry about. I'm sending money.
You're getting my money. Help me out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I had proper insurance. I felt bad for some people. It's like, yeah, we're renters, and we got no renters insurance. I'm like, you should probably get that. And now they get to see, oh, maybe we weren't as ready as we thought we were.
So when my parents were evacuated from the old fort, which
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing that happened about 3 years ago.
Yep.
There's a big landslide where my parents were living. It's a one road in, one road out kind of thing where they were at the bottom of the Peace Valley. And a big side of the valley caved in and took out the road. They were worried about more of the hill coming down and taking out the little village down there, so they evacuated everybody. And that whole evacuation process, it was not a rush.
No.
It was not a rush. So I was like, this whole evacuation alert thing is total bullshit, because when they do give you the evacuation warning or like this is happening, you have all the damn time in the world to get it done.
Yeah.
And
I think fire's a little more than landslide, though. Landslide, especially where your parents were, was a little bit more different. I had friends that were going to be like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm going to sit on my house with a garden hose until I absolutely have to.
yeah, exactly. Like, that's the level of urgency that you need to have for a situation like this. It's like a lot of the people that were evacuated were like 40 kilometers from any flames.
Yes.
Right?
And we know multiple people that
Yeah,
were
we know
evacuated.
multiple people that were evacuated from the rural areas, and they were like, yeah, this is nowhere even close
With
to us.
that being said, I know a few people that had it like in their front yard, and they were like, there it is.
Yeah, it happens.
They were like, and they were just sitting. It's like, no, the wind's going that way. It's not crazy. Cool. And they just sat and watched it.
Yeah, and you can do a lot to knock down like grass fire.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're surrounded by fields too. It's one of those in
Yeah.
2016 when it did
we
happen.
are not Fort Mac.
No, we are not Fort Mac. And I
we
think
don't
that's
we
a
don't
big part of the
we don't
scare.
have a forest penetrating our city from all sides.
And then you're not built right onto the edge of the forest either, because that's another thing that Fort Mac
Yeah.
had. It was built right on the edge of the forest. Like, as they're building out, they're building into the forest.
Into the woods. Yes.
They're not making space. They're not making fields. They're not. There's no fire break there.
Yeah, we don't have that scenario here.
I think just I was talking to Bam the other week, and he was saying we have an unbelievable amount of earth moving equipment here, pumps, everything. We could make an entire wall of water that would stop this thing in its tracks if we needed it to.
Oh yeah.
We could have Charlie Lake completely drained in 15 minutes, and it would just that fire's gone.
Yeah, people forget the kind of
the infrastructure we have.
kind of mechanical infrastructure we have for servicing the oil field.
Yep.
Like when it came down to just saving your town and your business and your yard and stuff like that, of course all those companies
Yeah.
would be fucking on it.
Yeah, they'd be like, and it's not worth the hassle to replace all this stuff. We're going to try and save it. Like, they'll do
Yeah.
their best. And I'm like, yeah, there's not as much of a worry here.
Yeah. So that was like that 2016 thing. Actually, I did a lot of thinking about what would happen if a wildfire ever got that close to us. I'm like, oh, dude, we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, between that and the experience that my parents had with the old forts and stuff like that, I was like, this is such a non-issue. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that they purposely shot their wad too soon on the emergency alert,
Well,
on the
an
evacuation
abundance of caution is what they were saying.
Yeah, abundance of caution, or it could be that they were making some kind of political play for money or for support from other places. Because, like, when you say Fort St. John's ready to evacuate, that would be the single biggest evacuation in British Columbia's history.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bigger than Lillooet and stuff like that? Like the ones that were down south?
Yeah, like for as far as a single city.
Oh.
Yeah. Like we're the biggest thing north of Prince George.
That's true, yeah.
You know, and on top of that, there's all the companies, all the infrastructure, all the oil. Like, it would have been a huge deal. So I really do feel like tinfoil hat or whatever that
It was a money grab.
This whole thing was a grab for financial support. It was a optics thing more than even an abundance of caution. That's such political bullshit talk right there.
Because there
abundance of caution.
Because there are financial incentives to declaring a state of emergency.
Yeah.
Because it opens up a piggy bank that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. And the second you declare it, you do actually get money and more finance.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm going to be a bit more charitable than I am being.
What?
Like, that day that this all happened, So these fires are kind of northeastish of,
Well,
sorry,
we
northwest.
talked
They're
about
northwest of us.
the fires when Nigel came in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about them because it wasn't a big deal at that point. It was off in the distance.
Yeah.
But there was a hard shift of wind on Monday afternoon where, like, on the drop of a hat, all of a sudden we had 60 to 100 kilometer hour gusts just pushing from that northeast direction. So, like, I looked outside my job site and I was like, that looks like smoke out there, and not like smoke haze like what we're dealing with right now.
No,
it was
smoke.
like wisps of smoke, like there was a house burning down the down the
road.
street.
Like,
And look outside, and like just like the winds are pushing like construction material over. Like it's a sustained push blowing all of that smoke and that fire this direction, and it was such a drastic switch that I think that contributed to the panic factor.
yeah.
It was like, because like everybody looking around, if they'd given you that alert and you look outside and it's still sunny, it's fine, it's like, oh, it's in the distance and we're being put on notice.
Yeah.
People would have been, okay, whatever, we're fine. But
that wind.
that illusion based on the weather that this is on your fucking heels,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that put everybody over the edge.
My wife had put up a greenhouse, a little plastic greenhouse, and that thing started blowing away. I had a tent in my backyard from the kids playing, you remember last week, and that was still up. Well, Monday, I'm like, I should start taking that down before the wind kicked up, and then it fucking kicked up, and I'm like, oh. And then we got to put an alert, and then, and I'm like, shit, I'm not ready.
I thought you were ready, though.
I was after. And I think that's a big part of what happened is people saw the wind, they saw the smoke, they knew of the fire. We are now put on alert. People realized how unready they were. They were like, oh. Sorry. Somebody's ringing. People realized how unready they were. We don't have fuel. When I called you, you got a co-op card lock. And I'm like, I need fuel. And I'm looking at every gas station being lined up at the wazoo. Oh, and there was a power outage on the north end of town, too. So one less gas station.
Okay.
And so the power outage and everything else that was going on, I'm like, I need to reduce the factor of people I'm competing with for fuel. How many people got fuel cards? A lot.
A lot here. Yeah.
A lot. But not everybody. It's still less than Shell and all these other places that don't have card locks. That's for the civilians and just the everyman.
you petty card lockless people.
That was my thinking of, okay, I need to reduce the competition for resources.
Yeah.
So I call you and I'm like, hey man, I'm actually in a bind. I'll send you cash, whatever you need. And so it just showed me how not ready I was in that moment. I was ready to let it all burn, but if it was hot on the heels, I was royally fucked. I didn't want to leave the house. And the kids, Alexis was freaking out. She was legit freaking out. She's like, our house is going to burn. And I'm like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Inside, I'm like, yeah, your shit's going to burn. I'm like, it might be, it will be fine, but your shit's going to burn. Just be okay with it. There's nothing in your life that's that valuable that compromises your safety. And so, was I taking it serious? Yes, to a certain degree. But I didn't care about things. I cared about my family. I cared about my kids. I cared about getting the fuck out of Dodge and just letting it all go. I even called my father, who's in Saskatchewan. So I got, just a hypothetical. There was fires by, Fox Creek or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a giant field.
Actually, Valley View did get evacuated.
Yeah, that's right. Valley View and Sturgeon Lake and all those areas. Fox Creek got evacuated as well.
Yeah. So that's on the way from us to Edmonton.
Yes.
About halfway.
And so I called my sister-in-law. Well, I didn't. My wife did. She's like, hey, we might be getting evacuated. Can we come to your place? But if everyone's heading that direction, well, maybe I need to go a bit further east. So I called my father up, and I'm like, hey, we're going to be staying at her sister's place. If that doesn't work out or something happens where we can't do that, can I come see you? But I told him, I'm like, it's not likely. I want to stay close to home so that as soon as this shit's over, I can go back to work. Because there's going to be lots of work. I'm like, whatever there is, I got work to do, and I don't want to travel 10 hours one way, stay for one night, and then travel 10 hours the other just to make it so I can work. And he's like, oh, you need work? I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. I can't stop working. I'm turning into my father.
Exactly. Oh, I feel that.
I can recall on one hand the amount of times we went somewhere and my father didn't work. On one hand,
Working vacations.
Oh, yeah. It's like we go somewhere. Oh, guess what? Dad's working. He's doing something. And now I'm turning into him. Anyway, he's like, oh, I got this contract with the Legion. I need to do 12-foot drywall. If you came here, would you want to work? I'm like, yeah, I'd fucking work. So I got work. Even across the country where I'm not, have nothing to do, but I still have work. And I'm like, okay, I'm blessed. I am good. Everything is fine, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking hotel for me to stay in.
There was a small part of me that was like, I really hope we get evacuated because I need a fucking vacation.
Right?
Like I was ready to just pull the pin and go south. And just forget about home and responsibilities for a few days.
Were you gonna pack the bike?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I was ready to let it go. I'm like, I want a new bike.
No, because I wasn't scared of anything burning. No. I just wanted them. I wanted them to give me permission to go somewhere that wasn't here.
All right,
that's the thing I wanted.
Okay, now I'm going to expand it past the you and me. Your wife, how is she in all this?
She was weirded out.
Okay.
Yeah, she was weirded out and nervous, but keeping her shit together.
Yeah.
And like, it was one of those things where it's like, we just had to have a sit down and talk about what the facts on the ground were. And then she was fine.
Yep.
Same thing with my son. My son, like, I got home from picking him up after I was done work. He was at a friend's place. And, we went and got a slushie and a hot dog, which was a pain in the ass.
Oh, I imagine.
Like, mainly because of the wind. And I was, like, grumpy and tired and hot from the whole day.
It was a hot day. It was a 30, 32 degrees.
Yeah. So, anyway, slushie in my system, I was pretty good. And we got home. And all of a sudden, my son came into the room, and you could tell he was fighting back the tears, because he could sense that the town was in disarray. Traffic was crazy.
I went home with slushies
smoke
as well.
Yeah, smoke in the air. He heard words like evacuation and alert and all these things being said without understanding anything that was going on. So he was super, super worried. So for him, the conversation basically went, "Okay, do you remember what happened to Nanny and Pumpa, Grandpa and Grandma, when the old fort had that road washout?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You remember that they were evacuated, right?" "Yeah." "And you remember when their house washed away into the river and went away forever, right?" He's like, "Nope, that didn't happen." Like, exactly. The alert, the evacuation, all that stuff, it's done so far ahead in advance that there's no possibility for danger unless you're putting yourself in danger.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry about any of that in the near future. We have all the time in the world to do whatever we need to do, to go anywhere if we have to. But we're not even being told to evacuate. They gave us a heads up. It's basically a, hey, be on the lookout. But the worst case of what's going to happen is the air quality is going to get so low that we just need to go away for a couple days and come back home. That's it. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm good." And then went back to doing whatever the frick he does.
Yeah.
Minecraft, I don't know.
Probably Minecraft. My kids do the same thing.
That was the extent of it, and he was fine. 3
of my 4 kids were fine. They were like, okay, cool. One didn't understand because he's fucking 3. And then the other 2 were, yeah, okay, cool. All right, something's going to happen. It'll be fine. And one of them just couldn't get over it, couldn't get out of her head. She just kept thinking about it. And, of course, this is a ginger. Ginger-esque. She's ginger light now. Not even a true ginger. But yeah, she just couldn't get out of her own head, just constantly thinking and worrying and thinking and worrying. And I'm like, nope, nothing to worry about. Just chill. And one part was me just telling her to chill. But I feel like sometimes kids can sense when you're putting on a front to be like, I need to be strong for you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And yeah, was I a little bit scared, nervous? Yeah. That wind really put me off kilter. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that wind was the thing. That was the thing that really put everybody over the edge.
Yeah, because it was the idea of it, okay, it's over there, we're fine. But that wind was so strong, so immediate, so right in your face.
Yeah.
You're like,
So the day before that, I took just a Sunday drive. It was Mother's Day. So we went for a drive. And I got a pretty good look at where the actual fires were, like out towards Buick Creek and up the highway and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, that's a fair ways away. So I had a pretty good mental idea of where it was at before the whole happening happened.
the happening.
So it felt so far away to me because of where I saw it the day before.
Okay.
Maybe that was part of why I was like, this is a nuisance. More than anything.
When it takes you an hour to get close to it, you're like, oh, it's not actually that close.
No. And like, remember when we went for that bike ride to the Blessing in Grand Prairie?
Yeah, right into hell.
It felt at one point, because of the density of the smoke, that there was going to be fire on the ditches, on either side of us. But really, it was just smoke from a long ways away coming down and making landfall.
Yeah.
So that's what we were riding through. It wasn't anywhere even close to the fire. That was still at Grand Prairie yet.
Yeah, we got taken off alert yesterday, and what was today? Smokier than yesterday. It was far worse out today.
So when we were in Grand Prairie, when those fires were happening in the outskirts there, they were in more danger than we were at any point on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they didn't even get an evacuation, alert for the whole city or anything like that. It was just a couple neighborhoods of trailers.
Yeah. Yeah, like, friends of ours says again, friends of ours that we got evacuated.
Like that fire was so fucking close to them, right? Like it was so far away for us comparison. Like that's why I'm like they triggered a panic unnecessarily by giving that alert.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually lined up a place to sleep that night. In one of the trailer parks that got evacuated, and then I found out it's like, oh, they got evacuated. And selfishly, I'm like, I wonder where I'm sleeping tonight, because I didn't think that far ahead. I'm like, oh, there might be a fire, might need to plan. No, I don't think that far. I'm like, oh, I'm sleeping there or on the ground. I was willing to bring a tent, and I just didn't bring it. Looking at how beautiful that weekend was, you ever just wish you brought a tent? Remember when you slept outside in Chilliwack? It was that kind of temperature of even the worst case scenario is just friggin' not having a place to sleep is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, when we went to Grand Prairie, that was such a nice May weekend. It was insane.
Yeah. I can't believe how nice the weather's been for May. Remember how
which is also why we're in the predicament we're in right now. But
unprecedented. Precedent.
The biker in me is loving this shit.
We did the same thing when Penticton was on fire. We're like, I know BC is on fire, but great riding weather.
Great riding weather. That was so much fun. Like, just like stopping by creeks, soaking our shirts to cool down, putting on just a sopping wet shirt, hopping on the highway. Half hour later, it's bone dry.
It's bone dry. That was by far one of my favorite road trips we ever took. I know it was the last big road trip we took with the club. Yeah. But that was
the best one.
The best one?
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm that's the thing that I'm like, I miss the most is those opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know when the next one's going to come for us to do something like that.
August?
I guess. We got to get more people to come with us, though.
Yeah, that is the downside because it's just you and me right now. Hey, let's I guess we can't really put it out because...
Well, we could put it out.
We could put it out,
okay,
but...
So Mike and I are riding our motorcycles to Drumheller, Alberta for a heavy metal music festival called Loud as Hell.
Yes.
And we are going to go through Jasper and Banff, and it's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. If you like metal music and it's not giant, massive bands. So you're going to be competing for.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's all indie Canadian bands.
Yeah, there is. It's going to be so much fun, and we are going to be bringing our podcast equipment there, and interviewing randos.
Yeah,
Hopefully some bands, of course, but at the same time, just if you're a fucking interesting person, we'll interview you. I love the metal community. It's like the biker community. It's just full of the oddest ducks there. It's like, oh, they're angry. It's like, have you seen them? I'm pretty sure I saw a bunch of metalheads singing SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep. It's so weird. Like, for music that's so intense and dark and angry and stuff like that, it's like you very rarely find a person who embodies all those things unless they're like just like super depressed. But it's just a weird extreme art form that focuses these negative parts of emotions and turns it into art.
It takes so much depth to put yourself in the scenario of writing these lyrics,
or just like straight up
embracing them,
or just straight up like ostentatiousness.
Yeah, and you take yourself maybe just a little less seriously.
Yeah, like it's really absurd. Metal music is absurd.
Oh, it's crazy.
Right? Like, so there's no way to participate in it without embracing a degree of your own absurdity. Mm-hmm. And that makes for good people.
Yes.
Right? Like, it makes for interesting and easy to get along with people.
Yeah, because you take yourself a little less seriously when you look at everything else so bigger than you are. You're like, I can calm down. You can calm your tits.
Yes, you can calm your tits while people are like jumping around and trying to body check each other and having a great time.
Do you see yourself getting in a mosh pit?
At this age, no.
No, I'm going to be on the background, like just bob mad. Maybe have earplugs in so I can enjoy the actual sound of the music without, bursting my eardrums because I'm such a fragile old fuck.
Yeah, it's like I've never been to this event, so I don't know what the vibe's gonna be like. I don't know what the experience, the volume, all the stuff's gonna be like. I'm assuming, given it's open air, it's not gonna have that overwhelming reverb that like certain halls and stuff like that have.
Yeah. So August long weekend, we're going to be riding from Fort St. John to Drumheller. If you want to hit us up on even for a section,
yeah.
If
you want to ride with us,
great.
Come to the event. Whatever. It's a super cheap weekend.
We will keep it on the gram. It's
$150 to go there, camp, eat breakfast, go to all the concerts. Like, that's a pretty cheap for like a whole weekend of concerts.
Let's say hypothetically somebody can't get that much time off work, but they know where we're riding from and where we're riding to.
You can meet us on the way.
You can meet us on the way, ride us with our frit, give us a fist bump. Just hang out for maybe have a coffee. I don't know.
Let's do cool biker shit, guys.
Cool biker shit.
I'm looking at you, Jeremiah.
Is he a metalhead?
Oh, he is a grunge head. He's one of those guys that like his time of music was that early to late 90s.
So yeah, the Cobain, the
Soundgarden,
Pearl Jam,
90s Metallica. Deftones, Korn, that kind of thing. That was his like zeitgeist moment. Right?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I was trying to think of what kind of music he would listen to because it just seems like it would be like monastery monk acoustic.
I know his road name is even Friar Tuck.
Yeah, I assumed it would be just a monk with an acoustic guitar singing "How Great Thou Art."
I know because he is a pastor of a very small kind of like rural Alberta church.
Yeah,
like he's like on face value you wouldn't think, but like. Hang out with him for a little bit, you're like, oh, dude, you're twisted. I like it.
You are my jam.
You are my jam. And then he'll all of a sudden he'll randomly put lyrics on his Facebook of like Soundgarden or Metallica songs from the Load album, and people hit him up like, dude, are you okay? He's like, no, it's lyrics. This isn't a cry for help. Yeah. This is the song I was listening to.
I was listening. Quotations. Quotations are key. Maybe he just likes the attention of people reaching out to him. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. It's just a song. It's like,
that would kind of be fun to F with people that way, though. It would almost be like talking in a weird accent until people are like, I didn't know you were from Australia.
I think
So weird.
I think I said something like that to people. There was this guy pretending to be a worship leader, and he spoke with an Australian accent. He's like, "Yeah, he went to one United concert."
What?
Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, go to one Hillsong concert and come back talking with an Australian accent,
Yeah.
banging your secretary. I'm sorry. I mean, talking about how much Jesus loves you.
Oh, that was another one. It's like the love of Jesus is so amazing. Sorry, what was the question? No, these aren't prescription glasses. It was so good.
Oh my gosh!
So, anyways, yeah, if you want to ride with us, I think we will do our best to keep our Instagram up to date and
Yeah,
tell
that
you
would
guys
actually be a really good.
where we're
that
gonna
would be a great event to even just kick off our Instagram presence.
We're doing it. I just fucking hate social media. How much do I hate social media? It's unbelievable.
I know.
It's such a pain in the dick.
We hate success.
We want to hire somebody just to do the social media side of this thing.
Not hire, enslave.
Sorry.
There's a big difference.
No, it's not enslavement. It's what's that freeloading shit? Internship.
Internship.
Yeah,
yes.
we need an intern.
An intern / slave. If you want to do our social media and possibly
You just sit in that
be bought and
chair.
sold, that's the thing to do.
Why would we sell them?
I don't know. If you're a good intern, you might be valuable. We can get something for you.
Get some. Maybe 2
We could
cases of
trade.
beer.
We could trade you for equipment.
or a beer or whiskey. Like we could get whiskey for people.
Yeah. See, this is a great idea.
How about this? If you become our intern, we'll let you buy us whiskey.
We will let you. You can even choose the flavor on occasion.
Yeah.
Every 10th bottle you can choose.
Yeah, you could be just like, oh, this one's.
There's a punch card.
Yeah. So we're looking for a social media person to sit in that chair and fucking say nothing. We'll put tape over your mouth because you're a fucking intern and you'll do what you're told.
The whiskey stones almost got me again. Stupid. I hate them.
You grabbed 2 ice cubes, didn't you?
No, there was only one in the freezer.
Oh, I feel bad. I have more upstairs. I didn't think of it. Yeah, he's flipping the bird.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll keep our gram up to date. So you guys can join us even for a section of the ride. It will be August long weekend. It's
actually,
from Fort St.
we
John.
will be riding the week before.
Yes, but we're going to be Fort St. John through Prince George, McBride, Jasper, Banff, Canmore. Is that what that town is?
Yeah.
And then through
And then
Calgary
over to Calgary and then up to Drumheller.
and up to Drumheller. And if you happen to have a 5-star level RV for us to stay in, we will let you lend it to us for the event.
Especially if you come with us.
More so if you come with us.
In fact, we will even buy half your ticket.
No, you fucking bring an RV. We'll pay your ticket.
Half.
You pay half. I'll pay half. I would love to stay in an RV.
This is the most generous you've ever been.
I know. I'm such a cheap Jew. Not Jewish.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to that. That's going to be our brother road trip of the year because last year we didn't even get one.
Nope, there was nothing. I got to go to a funeral. That was my road trip. Was hopping on a bike to go to a funeral.
You and I have done more together this year on the bikes so far than we did last year.
Yeah,
last year was a weird year.
It was.
It was a weird summer for us.
Well, my bike broke down.
You ran out of gas.
And I didn't know I was that low on fuel, so it's like, oh, something's wrong with the bike, and I tried everything short of fueling it up, because when you think you have more than enough fuel, you're like, it can't be that one thing. No, I ripped my bike apart, and then I fueled it up. I did all my electrical tests just to realize that I didn't check the fuel. You ever feel that dumb?
Yeah. Like, we talked about this like 2 weeks ago on the podcast.
I don't remember.
With the whole battery thing with me getting stuck at the border. Yeah, I remember feeling that dumb.
Okay, Mike goes solo. That episode, listen to. It's trash. Don't waste your time. And then somebody calls me up. It's like, you could have called me. And I didn't think to call anybody to join me because I don't think like that.
Was it Travis?
It was Travis.
Yeah.
And my brother calls me up. He's like, I was yelling at you through the radio, trying to defend myself. I listened to it. I said nothing about him. at any point did I talk.
Which brother?
My younger brother.
Which one? What's his name?
Andrew.
Andrew.
So John,
Andrew, if you're listening, don't be a pussy. Like, seriously, that got you yelling?
That guy, wasn't even talking about him.
For shame. For shame. You don't deserve a motorcycle to ride. I don't even want a podcast anymore. Turn it off.
Fuck. We'll do it live. We just release everything. Anyway, so he was like, yeah, I was yelling at it, defending myself. And I'm like, I don't know what I said. So I re-listened to it. Like, because I'm curious.
I still don't know what I said.
And then it's exactly it. I have no idea what I said. Like, what did I call you out on? I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe just the fact that he is a motorcyclist pussy that yells at the
his
stereo,
radio
at his
in his
radio
car.
while his brother is talking on it.
Yeah.
Maybe he just felt naturally attacked because he doesn't have a motorcycle and you do.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a beard and you do.
He
Doesn't have a podcast and you do.
So, how do I put this? My brother's been growing a beard since high school. He's got the gene.
He's got the gene. Okay.
He's got the gene.
All right. No,
my other brother, he took it from my older brother.
I 100% reversed my opinion on Andrew. He is now the alpha boudouin, and you are now the giant pussy. Sorry, Andrew. I apologize. You were right to chastise your brother.
Based on the beard alone.
Yes, 100%. I'm totally beefing with you now.
Oh.
I had your back up until that
up until that moment.
Yeah. Sorry, Andrew.
You haven't met him. It'll change. He wants to come on, but there's a lot of people who are like, I want to come on, and I'm like, what do you have? And I'm like, no, you do not have the gift of gab like Mike Friesen of the Pursue the Hunt
I know.
podcast.
Like, there's guys that you got to slow down. You're like,
you
enough.
need to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up for 5 seconds.
Travis, Brian.
All these guys are so fun to have on.
Oh, yeah. Where you got to, like, rein them in. Travis is our Kanye West.
Yes, he is the Kanye West to your Alex Jones.
I tried so hard to be Alex Jones, and then he's like, fuck you, I'm going to do it. And do you know what's great? That episode you will not find now. You will find a Travis episode, but you will not find the Travis thing.
The Travis thing. Part 2 is gone.
We can explain it. His old lady's going after him for, I don't know, probably a character defamation or whatever it is, and we're like, no, fuck you. It's ex-old lady, sorry. And I don't think it's justified, and we don't want to give him ammunition. But nobody listens to this podcast, so it's fine.
We should wrap up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. God bless. It feels weird not having our old catchphrase.
I know. I think we just need to bring it back intermittently.
Intermittently, I know, but just trying to like end by saying goodbye. We need a new sign off.
If you have an idea for a great sign off catchphrase,
because we've retired. God bless. Don't be a dick.
If you come with the right one, we'll do it 25 times. That's nearly half a year.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, start sending us messages on the book face,
the grams, the book face, the text messages. Whatever. If you don't have our phone number, his phone number is.
Us your new.
I don't know your phone number.
It's 250. Fuck you.
God bless. Not gonna do it.
Don't be a dick. Don't do it.